stories that have family love among its main themes. Sadly, those with focus on mother-child relationships are quite difficult to find. I'll share with you guys the interesting ones I've managed to find so far. But first, please let me briefly explain this video's scope. First is that this recommendation list only covers titles which are licensed in English that they can be read from official websites and apps. Next is that the recommendations will primarily cover Korean manhwa. If we include Japanese manga, the list might become too long. I haven't read much OEL ones, but even if I have, I'm pretty sure the mother-child theme will be even more difficult to find on that group. The mothers of the mentioned webtoons could be the actual biological mother or a substitute mother. Substitute in a sense that she became a mother by adopting the child or through marriage, or she is pretending as a mother, or she's acting as a motherly figure of that other character. Motherly figures that eventually become love interests are not counted though. Lastly, either the mother or the child should be the main character. I don't have a particular ranking for my recommendations for the mother-child theme. So instead of in a form of a top 10 list, I'll share them to you guys by groups, which will be further subdivided by trope or theme. The first group of webtoons have a mother as the main character. It's more natural to have motherly love moments if the MC is the mother herself. These webtoons have a mother who are trying to raise a dragon with a child's appearance. The child is more like a pet than a son though, but since they are in human form, it's like she is taking care of a human child too. Between the two, I like this one more. The male lead here is a gorgeous detective who acts like the female lead's butler. It's amusing. The art is also very pretty. These webtoons have a couple with terrible communication skills that made the female lead hide her child from her husband. Endure the drama and will be rewarded with wholesome family moments. Between the two, I like this one much more. Or rather, I love the child in this one in a much higher level. The little boy is like the embodiment of absolute adorableness. It's addicting. These webtoons have a main character who are supposedly cruel stepmothers towards their husband's children. But since there's someone else in that character's body now and aren't actually bad people, they try to be as nice as possible in order to survive. Besides, they ended up genuinely loving their children anyway. If you crave for women empowerment, wherein women are trying to fight against social injustice and gender discrimination, this one is the best, followed by this one. This one is actually quite lacking. Okay, I acknowledge it's kinda poorly written, but I like the fluff, so I don't care. This is the champion when it comes to fluffy moments though. It's also known as, I'm the stepmother, but my daughter is just too cute. This one is slow burn, but it still has good romance despite its major focus on motherly love. It's also known as, I raised Cinderella preciously. And lastly, if you're a sucker for fairy tale retellings, then you shouldn't miss these, since they're based on Cinderella and Snow White, respectively. These webtoons have main characters who haven't been good mothers in their first life, but regrets it and becomes a much better person after regression. This is pretty unusual, not to mention very popular. I like how the children eventually become fond of a strong woman like her. But I like this one the most on this batch. I actually dropped it already, but after giving it a chance, I found a webtoon with characters who can learn to communicate, which is so rare, so it's refreshing. These webtoons have a main character who transmigrated into a fantasy novel, and sometime later, they acted as the mother of the novel protagonist, who was still a child by the time they transmigrated. I adore both of them a lot. This one has more fluffy moments, but this one amuses me more. These webtoons center on a family which try to be, well, a normal family. This has disappointing pacing and execution, by the way, but it's very amusing to read if you turn your brain off. I had so much fun with it. This one is very unusual since chapter 1. A nice read if you're into slice of life stories in a fantasy world. But this one is my favorite among the three. It's about an assassin mom who hides her identity from her husband, who is a journalist covering her story. It's somewhat like Spy Family in that sense. Too bad it's not popular, but it's really awesome. Two of her co-workers are huge fans of hers. The next group of webtoons have the mother's child as the main character. Sadly, family love is not exactly among their main themes, but that love is important to the main character's goals, motivations, development, and growth. These webtoons have a main character who only became fortunate to experience a mother's love when they got reincarnated. Both have plenty of touching family moments, but I like this one more since it's fluffier, way more amusing as well. These webtoons have main characters who felt motherly love not from their original mothers. This manhwa's main theme appears to be romance, but so far I see the MC along with her brother on a mission to save their mother from a terrible illness. There are actually many other romance fantasy manhwa under this batch, but I cannot remember. These webtoons have the main character work hard as a hunter in order to get an elixir to save their sick mother. Bonus, they also have a younger sister. I enjoyed reading these webtoons, but I was quite disappointed that the mother's significance became like shallower as soon as she was healed. These webtoons are similar to the previous batch in a sense that they have a sick mother, but they're a bit different. Okay, I'm not so sure with this one since I haven't read enough chapters, but the story in this one is not as similar as the earlier two. This one is my favorite mother-child relationship among the shonen webtoons with gaming or leveling systems. The drama, oh my god, it was heartbreaking. These webtoons have main characters who had their mothers died early, but they managed to rescue her on their second life. These two are so similar, but this one is done much better. The mother is not completely forgotten after he saved her, and he continues to protect and cherish her even as he grows. The last group is super special. Well, it's not exactly a group since there's only one webtoon under it. There is only one webtoon that I know of which has both the mother and the child as the main characters. It's designed to be centered on motherly love. And the title is Mom, I'm Sorry. Oh my god, this is amazing. Prepare tissues as you will cry hard from either too much laughter or too much heartache. There's so many wacky stuff on it. It's such an excellent rom-com material that I wonder why something this fantastic is not getting a K-drama adaptation. But anyway, this is an excellent story that centers on a mother's love towards her child and vice versa. It's the type of manhwa that makes you reflect whether you had shown enough affection towards your own mother. Hence the title. Seriously, this is the ultimate webtoon for Mother's Day. You cannot miss this. It was recently completed, so you need to read this as soon as you can. And make sure to only read the side story after finishing the main story because it has so many spoilers. Alright, I hope I had helped you discover a new favorite. Most of the titles mentioned earlier can be read from either Line Webtoon or TAPAS. You can check out the full list in the description section below. If you know of other Webtoons with mother-child theme, please share in the comments as I need more of this. And as always, likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions will be highly appreciated. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care.